at some object-oriented programming concepts. So in this video, we will see what object-oriented programming is and what are these objects. So the object-oriented programming, it involves programming using objects. So in our regular world, everything can be perceived as an object or things. So an object represents an entity in the real world that can be distinctly identified. For example, a student, a desk, a circle, a button, and even a lawn can all be viewed as objects. So we can think that a student, a desk, a circle, a button, these are all tangible objects. We can see them, we can touch them. But what about a lawn? A lawn is a non-tangible object. How can that be an object? It's a non-tangible thing. So if you can think that an object, it has a unique identity, a state, and some behaviors. So anything that has a unique identity, that has some state, and that has some sort of behaviors can be designed as an object. So in that respect, a loan can have unique identity. That means, for example, every loan, a bank loan, can have its own loan account number. It can have some state. So what can be a state of the loan? It can be the amount of the loan, the interest rate of the loan, the duration of the loan, how much has already been repaid. So these are the states of a loan and some behaviors. For example, if we repay some portion of the loan, the amount of the loan should be updated. If we take out some new loan, the amount should be created or increased. So these are the behaviors of the loan. So since it has a unique identity, state, and behavior, a loan can be viewed as objects. So the state of an object consists of a set of data fields, also known as properties, with their current values. So in terms of student, the data field of a student can be the name of the student, the ID of the student, the CGPA of the student, and so on. And the behavior of an object is defined by a set of methods. For example, for a student, we can have an add grade method that will eventually update his or her CGPA. We can have an update address method that will update the address of the student, and so on. So we can now see an object, and we can take the example of a circle object. So a circle definitely has a radius. So an object, since it has both a state and behavior, so for the circle, this state is a radius. So the data field of a circle is radius, and a method can be a getArea method for that circle. So we can have one circle object whose radius is 10. We can have another circle object whose radius is 25. We can have another circle object whose radius is 125. So we now see that circle can be designed as an object. Let's look at let's dig into deeper. So in our program, if we need to write the codes for each circle object multiple times, that is again a tedious job. The only difference between these circle objects are the value of this radius. The rest of the things are same. So what we can do in terms of code reuse is, we can in one place write this general description of a circle, That means a circle will have a radius as data field. A circle will have a get area method, and that common code will be called as classes. Are constructs that define objects of the same type. So in our Java program, we need to write the codes for similar type of object once, and that code is called as classes. So a Java class uses variables to define data fields and methods to define the object behaviors. Additionally, a class provides a special type of methods known as constructors, which are invoked to construct objects from the class. So we can have the general description of an object as class written in our program, but that's not enough. So from that general description, we need to create separate objects. And this type of creation of separate objects need a special type of method known as constructors. So we will shortly see the detail of the constructors. So here is our example class circle. So we have actually so far written many classes in our Java fundamental programming, and every code was inside one class. So this is our circle class. So we first need to define the keyword class, then the name of the class, then everything will be inside our curly braces. So this is our class block. So for the circle class, we have a data field, radius. So our choice for the radius data type is double, so that we can also have fractional values, and we can assign a default value for the radius. Then we have two constructors for this circle. So this is the first constructor, this is the second constructor, and we have seen this is called constructor overloading, just like method overloading, where the name is same, the parameter list is different. And we have a method double get area. So the method name is get area. It does not take any input parameter, it returns a double value. So what is this double value? It returns radius times 3.14159. That means the area of circle pi r square. So this is our common description of circle. When we write this, we save this as circle.java. So we will see shortly how we use objects of this circle class in our program.